Alright, let's talk about something that's been lighting up the internet lately, grabbing headlines and sparking conversations. It's the ongoing saga between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, a relationship that has always been a bit of a roller coaster. Just recently, we've witnessed a very public and pretty spicy feud explode between them. Trump took to his platform, Truth Social, to declare their relationship was over, even asserting that he told Musk he didn't need his money and that Musk was bad for the USA. Musk, not one to back down, fired back on X, subtly implying Trump was perhaps a bit too focused on the past. This isn't just a private disagreement. It's a full-on tweet war, and according to some data analysis I've seen, engagement on both their social media platforms has spiked dramatically since this whole thing kicked off. It really seems like drama sells, even in the high-stakes world where tech titans meet political power. It's kind of wild to think back to how this whole thing even started, isn't it? Remember when they were almost buddies, in a way? Trump, the ultimate political disruptor, always wanting to shake things up in Washington. And then you had Elon Musk, the tech visionary, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible, dreaming of Mars and electric futures. You just had this feeling that they both saw themselves as these larger-than-life figures, mavericks in their respective fields, shaking things up in their own unique ways. Musk even took a spot on Trump's advisory council early in his presidency, a move that certainly raised some eyebrows in Silicon Valley. It felt like a curious meeting of the minds, or at least a meeting of massive egos, on the surface. For Musk, it seemed like pragmatism. His companies, SpaceX and Tesla, often relied on federal contracts, subsidies, and a favorable regulatory environment to achieve their ambitious goals. Trump, ever the astute identifier of useful allies, saw in Musk a fellow billionaire, a symbol of American innovation, someone who could lend credibility and a futuristic sheen to his administration. But even then, you could spot the cracks, couldn't you? Musk wasn't shy about publicly disagreeing with Trump, particularly on significant policy decisions like the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accords. He'd tweet his dissent even while serving on advisory boards. That takes some guts, standing up to a sitting president like that while your businesses have so much at stake. It highlighted that their relationship was perhaps more transactional than ideological, a delicate tightrope walk where mutual benefit often outweighed stark policy differences. Then things really started to shift in 2022. When Musk began getting much more vocal about his political leanings, he publicly declared his support for the Republican Party, even using strong language to describe his newfound political alignment. This was a significant pivot for a figure largely seen as a Silicon Valley moderate. It was after he acquired Twitter, rebranded as X, that he made a truly pivotal move, reinstating Donald Trump's account, which had been suspended. This wasn't just a technical decision. It was a powerful symbolic gesture, handing Trump his most potent online megaphone back, just days after he announced his third presidential run. And then came the big moment, a thunderclap that echoed across the political landscape, Musk throwing his formidable weight and a whole lot of cash behind Trump for the '24 election. It was a decisive move following a dramatic event, signaling a full commitment. We're talking a truly serious amount of money, making him, by some accounts, the single largest individual political donor of the entire cycle. He was spotted wearing a Make America Great Again cap at rallies, urging people to vote, vote, vote. It felt like they were finally, unequivocally, on the same team, all in, heading for a shared future with no more ambiguity, after Trump secured his victory, putting Musk in charge of a new Department of Government Efficiency. That felt like the absolute peak of their bromance, right there. It was the ultimate outsider getting the keys to the inner workings of government, tasked with cutting bureaucracy and potentially dismantling federal agencies. You could almost hear the cheers from some corners, the excitement about radical change. Trump publicly lauded Musk, calling him amazing and a star is born. The ultimate convergence arrived when Trump himself rolled onto the White House South Lawn in a gleaming red Tesla, publicly endorsing the car and his friend, even promising to buy one the next day. The image alone spoke volumes about their intertwined destinies. But you just knew deep down that a dynamic involving two figures with egos that immense and such strong individual visions for the world couldn't last forever, could it? It was less a question of if and more of when something would give, and boy did it give in a spectacular public fashion, the catalyst. Trump's signature one big beautiful bill, a piece of legislation central to his economic vision. Musk, in an explosive series of online posts, went nuclear, lambasting the bill as a disgusting abomination that would balloon the deficit to astronomical levels. He didn't just critique. He demanded Congress kill the bill. Trump's reaction, true to his unfiltered style, was immediate, swift, and infused with furious indignation. Elon was wearing thin, Trump retorted on Truth Social, his words dripping with contempt. He aggressively claimed that he had personally asked him to leave his Doge role, even asserting he had taken away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars, that nobody else wanted a policy that had been a significant boon to Tesla. The personal attacks escalated, with Trump accusing Musk of having lost his mind and going crazy. The former allies, now bitter adversaries, traded increasingly personal and cutting jabs, even delving into sensational, unverified claims. This was a profound plot twist, a brutal public breakup played out in real time. Musk, never one to back down, retaliated with a dramatic, almost reckless threat to decommission SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft, the only American vehicle ferrying astronauts to the International Space Station, before later walking back the threat under immense pressure. He then boldly asserted his political leverage, claiming, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate." A direct challenge to Trump's narrative of sole victory and a clear reminder of Musk's financial and platform contributions. This public implosion stunned Washington and observers worldwide. It brutally highlighted just how deeply intertwined Musk's private business interests had become with the federal government, a dependency systematically cultivated during Trump's administration through the steering of lucrative contracts and favorable regulatory treatment towards Musk's companies. The dynamic had fundamentally shifted from a mutually beneficial arrangement to one where Trump felt personally threatened by Musk's public dissent against his key legislation, a bill meant to define his economic legacy. Trump's chilling warning of serious consequences if Musk attempted to back Democratic candidates in future elections underscored the extreme fragility of such powerful alliances and political agenda ultimately diverged. The raw, unfiltered spectacle of two of the world's most powerful, ego-driven, and publicly vocal figures battling it out on their respective social media platforms laid bare the unfiltered intersection of immense capital, high-stakes politics, and the relentless, often brutal, pursuit of individual power, leaving the public to wonder if this explosive bromance was truly over, or merely entering a new, even more unpredictable and potentially destructive phase in the public eye. That's just how it goes.